Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter where you are in the world, I'm definitely glad to be here with you. And more importantly, I'm glad you're here with me. You are tuned in to the Trust and Believe Nomad Cast, hosted by me, Damon Anderson. Please like, subscribe, and follow to my YouTube channel at Retired Master Sergeant 20. You can also follow me on Instagram at big_MSG_retired. For the audio versions, you can find the audio version of this Nomad Cast. You can find it on SoundCloud, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, jiosaavn, to name a few. And also this week, I'm anticipating having an agreement with Apple, iHeart, as well as Google Podcasts. And also Spreaker. And Spreaker is actually powered by iHeart Radio as well. So definitely want to give them a shout out. So I'm definitely glad to, forge these relationships and again leverage these relationships for the greater good, since I found my second wind in my career, like I mentioned yesterday. All right, so speaking on Monday on my opening remarks, how was everybody's Monday, by the way? Everybody good? Good. Okay. So yesterday I had an appointment at the dental office at the VA hospital, and I went in and they looked at my choppers, did x-rays, did a cleaning, the whole nine. And so I've noticed since I retired, I've developed almost like, it feels like a hole in the side of my tooth, my upper tooth. Developed a hole in it. And it doesn't hurt currently, but I anticipate some pain moving forward. I really do. I could just, you know your body, you could just tell. So when the dentist looked at it, he said, you know what, Master Sergeant, we're going to have to get this thing right. We're going to have to plug this thing in. So now I got like two additional, I don't call them operations, but 2 procedures coming up in the next couple of months to kind of repair some things. And one thing I like about the VA, they still call you by your rank. Hey, Master Sergeant, how you doing? And as soon as they say, hey, Master Sergeant, I say, yes, can I help you? I'm here. I am here. Some of these places, they say, hey, and they call you by your first name, but it's like when you go to the VA, at least the one here, I don't know about the other VAs, they call everybody by their rank. You see like a retired sergeant major, hey, sergeant major, retired colonels or whatnot, hey, colonel. So they be like, hey, Master Sergeant, how you doing? I am great. How you doing? So definitely give props to the VA. And that's kind of one of the things I want to talk about today on Talking on a Tuesday, talking about that transition. As I stated yesterday, that transition from the Army to my current civilian life. It's been met with challenges, mental, physical, but you navigate forward. Yeah, man, this is kind of where it's at. This whole Nomad Cast is a microcosm of my life. I bring some family elements into it, military, mostly military, because I've been doing it for so long. Talk Detroit elements, all sorts of elements that, involve me, and even talking about current events. But we're definitely going to move into some other things. But yeah, so just get ready for Talking on a Tuesday. Again, I appreciate all the likes, the subscribes, the follows, and everything. Remember, YouTube, Retired Master Sergeant 20. Instagram, big_MSG_retired. Also on Facebook, Big MSG 74. Have my own Facebook channel, the Trust and Believe Nomad Cast. So just trying to get the brand out there. Just trying to get out there, man. Just like the rest of these folks. All positive, no negative. We too old for negativity. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and transition to.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Talking on a Tuesday. You are tuned in to the Trust and Believe Nomad Cast, hosted by me, Damon Anderson. Remember, YouTube channel, Retired Master Sergeant 20. Instagram, big_MSG_retired. Also, Facebook page at Big MSG 74. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those subscribes up. Let's get those follows up and continue to support. All right, so we're talking about Talking on a Tuesday. Talking on a Tuesday, right? And what we're going to talk about today is my transition from the Army all the way to my current civilian status, which is retired, right? So we're going to walk the dog backwards a little bit, okay? So I retired November of 2020, right? After 20 plus years of service, retired November 2020. So I'm thankful for one thing, that me and my wife, we were smart enough years ago to invest properly and to save money smartly. We invested properly and we saved smartly, to the point where we knew at one point I was going to retire and we have, a good, comfortable life. So the financial piece has not been a problem, right? What it did, it allowed me to, I'm home all day and just sit up and buy shoes from StockX and all these other places, right? So shout out to StockX for, continue to send me thank you seem like every week. And also supporting my wife's shopping habits. She loved Macy's and all these places too. So shout out to that. So from that side of the house, there was no issue. I mean, still comfortable. And for the foreseeable future, we're comfortable as well. But the challenges I want to talk about is the mental challenge and the physical challenge. Let's go with the physical challenge first. So you go so many years, like I stated earlier, I served 4 years in the Marines, and it was all about run, run, run. Oh, let's run, run, run again. Oh, did you forget? Let's run, run, run. So 4 years of accumulating many miles on my legs and, getting to the point where you want to go to sick call or you want to go to the hospital, and it was frowned upon, especially back then, right? Because most of those leaders back then were Vietnam veterans that already had 20 plus years in, and these were like your master gunnery sergeants and sergeant majors. So when you went up to these guys as a PFC and a Lance Corporal talking about, my knee hurt, they looked at you like you was crazy. Like, okay, your knee hurt, go run 7 more miles, that'll get the pain out. And then transitioning into the Army, it was a little bit different. Physically, it wasn't as stressful as the Marine Corps, but it still had its physical challenges as well. So saying all that to say, I went so many years of neglecting my body in terms of recuperation, proper stretching, proper rehabilitation, after a long run or whatnot. And after all these years, especially my last year in the Army, I had 2 knee surgeries, major knee surgeries, an arthroscopic and a total knee replacement in under a calendar year, right? So I still feel the stresses of that and all the stress fractures I had in the Marine Corps and, pulling hamstrings and, shoulder hurting, all these physical challenges. I noticed since I retired and my physical activity, I still do my PT, but not to the point I was doing it when I was still active duty. And now I notice when I get out of bed, it's an act of Congress to get out of the bed sometimes. And when I place my feet on the ground, you talk about pain. And then I got to count 5 seconds to get up. And then I got to count 5 more seconds to actually start moving around. I remember years ago, you would just jump up and, get ready for the day. Now I got to kind of talk myself into the day. Do I really feel like getting up? I know I have to, because wife getting ready to go to work, got to see her out. Daughter getting ready to go for work, got to see her out. Take my son to school and all that. Still got to make dinner and do household stuff. But sometimes it's just like, man, I just don't feel like doing it. And that's the physical challenge, walking through the house, my knees are still hurting. My feet are still hurting. My shoulder hurts. My finger hurts. My back hurts. My hip hurts. All sorts of issues. And, you do what you can all these years to serve and do the right thing. But it's like once you finish doing everything, you're the one that's physically paying for a lot of this stuff. And it hurts. It's a challenge. You talk to any vet out there, not even just a military vet. You talk to a policeman, a fireman, football players, any athletes, anybody that, did any type of physical activity for, numerous amount of years, they're going to have some physical challenges. and it's still, it hurts, but you find a way to kind of deal with it. And I've never been like a pill taker, taking pills. I took a bunch of pills, during my surgeries, because you got to kind of get rid of some of that pain. Because anybody that's had surgeries before, like I've had 2 knee surgeries, I've had foot surgery, broken ankle, twisted ankle, all sorts of stuff, man. And you just keep moving on. But now I feel the pain. I'm almost close to 50, so all I can do is just try to increase my physical activity. I'm not as mobile as I used to be. I walk kind of slower now, not to the point where I'm like crippled and I need like assistance in terms of like wheelchair and canes, but I can definitely feel the difference, right? And sometimes it's kind of disheartening because I look at, like, especially when I was in the Marines, we had to run 3 miles for a PT test, and I remember just running 3 miles like nothing. Now you kind of like, man, shoot, but you find a way to deal with it, and you find a way to deal with it. I will say mentally, some of the challenges have been, you're so regimented. Everything has to be time on target. If something happened at 09, be there at 8:30. A great leader once told me, said, being early is on time, being on time is late, right? And when you try to apply that to the life outside of the military, a lot of the civilians are like, okay, your appointment is at 9. Why are you here at 8:30? Hey, being earlier is on time, being on time is late. They're like, yeah, you could have showed up at 9:05. I'm like, well, the appointment's at 9. And some of the challenges, the mental challenges, is just trying to get through the day. And when I retired, my son was still doing the homeschool because the whole COVID situation in our local school district. And so I remember teachers would, send him assignments, different slides and things of that nature. And I was getting mad at the teachers for the way the slides were constructed. Because I'm a PowerPoint guy, but they was using like Google Docs, and I can't stand Google Docs, right? Just the way it was structured. And, I didn't like the fonts. I didn't like the center structure. I didn't like the way the slide looked. So that was like a mental challenge. And I remember my son's teacher last year, he had some assignment to do. He had to submit like, I think 16 slides. I forgot what the subject matter was, but I went and submitted them via PowerPoint, and we did a PowerPoint. I said, man, don't worry about it. I know she wanted you to do it Google Docs, but trust me, PowerPoint is so much better. So I was using like some of the backgrounds, like from my old command and staff slides and training meeting slides and all this stuff. And the teacher, when he submitted them, because everybody can see what you're doing. So when he submitted them, my son submitted them, the teacher was like, oh, this is not the format. Da-da-da-da-da. So I was like, oh, no, what you're not going to do is say he submitted the wrong thing. In retrospect, dude, you did it. Follow the program, right? And so that was a mental challenge. Like, man, I just spent 20 plus years doing this type of work. Extensive operations experience, right? This is what we do. This is successful. I'm not telling you because I'm guessing. I'm telling you because I know. This is how I'm talking to the teacher. But then I got to realize, dude, you freaking retired, man. You need to let that go. Those are the mental challenges I had. Just time and being on time, and how some of the civilians, they kind of communicate with you. Like I mentioned earlier in my opening remarks, talking about like the VA, they still call you, by your rank. I would tell you, I've been treated so well at the VA and just all my aftercare services related to the VA. It's been remarkable. And in some instances, it's been better than my experience when I was active duty. I mean, because they treat you well. Everything is, it's quick, fast. They call you. Hey, this is due. Hey, look at this. Hey, I sent you an email on this. Hey, your appointment is like this, right? But a lot of the mental challenges was just, dealing with that side of the house. And I even still do it to this day. Even like driving, the PTSD starts to act up, getting stuck in traffic, you automatically feel you're back in the war zone where the vehicles are around you, vehicles in the front, vehicles in the back. You constantly looking around. I even noticed, like, if we're driving, no matter where we're going, and it's like a bridge or overpass over, and we're up under it due to a traffic, I'll look up under there like I'm some type of engineer. I'm looking at if are the bolts screwed in, is it rust up under here? You know, that's almost like that, you know, just, I can really feel my PTSD kicking in. And I have to kind of really, catch myself and kind of breathe and, employ the breathing techniques and everything. So it's been a challenge, and it will always be a challenge because you're used to certain things. I even feel like, especially with the video last week talking about the Mondays, I still get those quivers on a Sunday, 1300, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I feel that, tomorrow I got a meeting. Oh, it's the slides due. You still in that, it's almost like you're still programmed in a sense. And I don't know if you can ever get away from it. You talk to a lot of these older vets, and they'll tell you, man, they still deal with a lot of that. Dealing with fireworks and the sound of a boom and sudden noises, and, so it's challenging, and I anticipate it continue to be a challenge going forward. And that's why I'm glad the VA, they have, services that can kind of help, deal with some of those issues. And just talking to people, man, I try to be courteous as I can. I'm not walking around, expecting to thank you for your service every time you turn around. I'm not doing that. But a lot of times they kind of like, okay, yeah, you here. So what, I'm like, man, I'm kind of being, diplomatic to you. I can turn to that other person, which I don't want to do. I don't never want to go back to that. But I mean, respect goes both ways. If I'm rendering respect to you, you render it back. So those are some of the challenges I have, especially as a retiree. I would tell you before I retired, I realized when I left Korea 2018, and like I said in other videos, it was a high-powered, high-tempo unit. In some instances, I'm thankful I didn't rotate back to the States in that type of unit, because I probably have been, trying to be a sergeant major or something. But I knew my body was tired, and I knew it was going to be a challenge leaving the military. You talk about, again, doing this 20 plus years, man, and all of a sudden you don't have it. It's like that void. And it's like now, even like when my son goes to school, my wife's at work and my daughter's at work, it's like, man, what do you do? So I find myself just kind of going around the house and pressure washing the garage for no reason. Oh, let me empty out the garage and pressure wash it. Like, dude, you just did that a week ago. Oh, I'm going to pressure wash the concrete. Oh, I'm going to wash down the mailbox. Let me wash down the siding on the house. Oh, let me straighten up the garden hose. I find myself just finding things to do and almost inventing work just to keep myself sharp. You know what I mean? Fixing little odds and ends around the house. And when I was active duty, I never noticed a lot of these things. Like, I was never the type of person like cutting grass and all that stuff, because I have real bad grass allergies. And I was never the type of person to, the lawns and all that stuff. But I notice now, I'm like, I'm looking at the lawn, I'm measuring it, making sure it's edged up, and, putting down the right seeds and putting down all sorts of stuff, going to Home Depots, going to Lowe's. I never liked doing none of that stuff, but I find it exhilarating in a sense, because now it's kind of feeding into that, allowing me to kind of have something to do. Even like, I get up, families at work, sons at school, and I come home, right, do the podcast, get everything sent out. And then it's like, okay, I still got time between that, by the time I finish all my podcast work, and by the time I, pick my son up, okay, what can I do? Okay, I still got to get dinner ready, because I like to have dinner ready for them when they all come home. So I know how long that's going to take me. Okay, what can I do in between? Oh, wash clothes. Okay, clothes are washed. Oh, let me go downstairs and rearrange the man cave. Or let me go upstairs and let me do this. Let me go upstairs and do that. So those are the challenges I'm still having. Just making stuff up sometimes just to keep the day going. And it's amazing. It's like, I enjoy it. It's relaxing. I feel like a sense of accomplishment. You know what I mean? It's like even like yesterday, going down and pressure washing the patio. It's like, man, this was great. It was fun. And before, when I was asked to do this, I said, man, I ain't thinking about that patio. Sweep it off. But I find it exhilarating just to invent some things, and that's helping with the mental aspect. And even though physically those things are still challenging, what I mentioned earlier about the pressure washing, okay, taking everything out the garage. Oh, by the way, once you pressure wash this thing, trust and believe, no pun intended, you got to put all this mess back. So you're doing that in the sun. It's hot. Drinking the water. Your legs hurt. Your knees hurt. Then you're asking yourself, why they even do this? I don't even feel like it. So you put everything back. And then you realize, you know what? Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. So those are the challenges I'm having. I probably will continue to have. At this point in my life, I'm not seeking any employment because I'm enjoying having my own schedule, my own regimented schedule. And I think my days are better when I have that regimented schedule. Time on target. Do this at this time. Be early for this, occasion. So I'm having fun with it. But again, I will lie to you and tell you that there hasn't been any, physically and mentally. And you just find a way to continue to get through it. That's why I'm glad the VA is there. It's rooted, with helping the veterans. And no matter how long you served, how much you did when you was in the military, how little you did, they still, at least the VA here, the guys and gals over there, they really provide the support that's needed. So I definitely appreciate them on every effort, on every front. But those are some of the things. I probably left some stuff out. Again, but those are the challenges. That's how the transition's been from 20 plus years of service and retiring. And then me and my wife are figuring out, okay, where we live at, we really like it. It's like we're almost dating the city that we live in. It's like we like it, but we don't know if we love it. You know what I mean? Ultimate goal, since we spent the majority of our career overseas, our ultimate goal is to move back overseas. We're looking at Japan because, like I said in the videos last week, we spent 36 months over there and loved it. And mentally, I think it'll be great. You sitting on the beach and you're enjoying the sun, and it's less stress than you have in America. It's just something that we're thinking about. Got to wait till our son, he graduates and everything. But we're just trying to find ways now to reduce the stressors in life, reduce the challenges as much as we can. Some things you just can't. You can't help it, And we just want to make sure everything is done the right way. But that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Again, just trying to open myself up to people. And, if there's a veteran or a police officer or fireman or anybody that dealt with the physical and mental toll of their occupation, I hope this helps. It's one of them battles, man. You just continue to fight, the mental, the physical. And, we all we got, so we stay in this thing together, support each other, be rooted in positivity and not negativity, and we all get through it. So I'm glad that you guys tuned in. I hope you got something from it. Again, this is therapy for me, getting all my stories out and getting everything out to the masses. So I definitely appreciate the support. Again, YouTube channel, Retired Master Sergeant 20. Instagram, big_MSG_retired. Facebook, Big MSG 74. Again, the video version of this is on YouTube. The audio version, the SoundCloud, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and jiosaavn. And then I talked about the relationships with Apple and Google Podcasts and iHeart. Hopefully everything gets locked in this week, and they'll be on board as well. So again, just appreciate y'all just talking on a Tuesday, man, talking about some of the challenges I've had, retiring from the Army until now. I'm enjoying life. Life is great. Life is good, man. Life is good. Just continue to, each day, man, gets better. Just always remember this. Anytime you north of the grass, it's a win. No matter what you're going through in life. If you are north, I'm going to say it again. If you are north of the grass, you are winning. All right. No matter what challenges you have in life, you're winning. So stay locked in. Appreciate all the love and support. Thank you again. Tomorrow we will do a Way Back Wednesday. And I got an interesting story to tell about my time at good old Fort Hood, Texas, which is commonly known as the Great Place. So it's a story. It's definitely a funny story, but at the time I was going through it, it wasn't funny. But I'll tell that story tomorrow for Way Back Wednesday. Again, appreciate you tuning in to the Trust and Believe Nomad Cast. I'm your host, Damon Anderson. I'm thankful that you guys are here with me. We're in this together. So appreciate the likes, the subscriptions, I should say, and the follows. So appreciate all the love and support. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow for Way Back Wednesday. One love.